You double-check your bag, wallet, passport, and those must-have medications. Flying as a senior in 2025 isn't as simple as it once was. TSA rules around pills, liquids, and medical devices have changed, and mistakes can cost you time, money, or even access to critical health essentials. After speaking with retired TSA agents, pharmacists, and frequent senior travelers, we uncovered 15 medication rules that every traveler over 60 needs to know. These aren't just minor inconveniences. Some of them can ruin your trip. And trust me, number 3 shocks even longtime flyers. Let's jump in. 1. Pill bottles and original packaging. Most seniors toss pills into a daily organizer to save space. In 2025, that can trigger delays. TSA technically allows medications in any container, but agents are more likely to flag unlabeled pill boxes for extra screening. Why? Scanners can't identify unmarked pills, and security staff don't want to be responsible for guessing. Customs makes it worse. Many countries require original pharmacy labels. One Florida retiree was detained for 40 minutes because her blood pressure meds were in a plastic organizer with no label. Eventually, she was cleared, but not without stress. The fix? Keep at least one labeled prescription bottle per medication, even if you also use a weekly organizer. That way, TSA and Customs can match pills with labels. And if pill bottles sound strict, liquids are even trickier. 2. Liquid medications. You've probably heard of the 3.4 Oz liquid rule. But here's the good news. Prescription liquids, including cough syrups, eye drops, or injectable medicines, are exempt. The bad news? You can't just toss them in your bag without questions. TSA in 2025 requires liquid meds to be declared separately at security. They'll be screened, sometimes swabbed or tested, and may slow you down if not packed properly. A traveler carrying liquid insulin reported being held at security because the vials weren't in a separate bag. Once agents confirmed it was medication, she was allowed through. The best move? Keep liquids in clear, resealable bags with prescriptions ready to show. Carry a doctor's note if traveling internationally. But if you thought liquids were complicated, gels and creams can be even sneakier. 3. Creams, ointments, and gels. From arthritis creams to prescription ointments, seniors often carry gels that look suspicious to TSA scanners. These aren't treated like regular lotion. In 2025, TSA categorizes prescription creams as medical exemptions, but only if you declare them. Why? Gels can mask dangerous substances. If they're unlabeled or unlabeled tubes, agents may treat them like regular liquids and toss them. One senior traveler had her expensive prescription psoriasis cream confiscated because the tube looked like cosmetic lotion with no label. Only after showing her pharmacy receipt was she allowed to keep it. To avoid trouble, always carry prescription creams in pharmacy-labeled containers. If that's not possible, keep the original box or bring documentation. Don't hide them. Declare them up front. But creams aren't the only problem. Next comes one that's life-saving but complicated: needles and syringes. 4. Needles and syringes. Insulin pens, EpiPens, and syringes are lifesavers, but TSA also views them as potential weapons. In 2025, needles are allowed, but only when accompanied by clearly labeled medications. Security officers are trained to flag syringes without prescriptions. They may confiscate them if no proof is provided. International flights raise the stakes. Some countries require advance approval for travelers bringing needles. One traveler with severe allergies almost missed her flight when agents questioned her unlabeled EpiPen. She eventually got through, but only after showing an electronic prescription on her phone. The solution? Carry syringes in original packaging, along with a doctor's note or prescription. Keep them separate and declare them at security. But while needles are stressful, the next one is even more overlooked: medical devices like CPAP machines. 5. CPAP and breathing devices. Sleep apnea machines are one of the most common senior travel essentials. In 2025, TSA allows CPAP machines, nebulizers, and portable oxygen concentrators, but they come with a catch. Every device must be taken out and screened separately, just like a laptop. Machines often trigger alarms due to tubing and power cords. TSA agents may even swab them for explosives. A senior in Denver reported her CPAP being pulled aside, leaving her embarrassed as the line behind her groaned. To avoid hassle, pack devices in carry-on bags labeled medical equipment. Request a sterile inspection if you don't want your mask or tubing touched. Airlines don't count CPAPs against your carry-on limit, but only if they're in a separate medical bag. Traveling with a CPAP? Bring a spare filter and power adapter since airlines rarely provide them. But if you thought CPAP checks are awkward, wait until you hear what happens with refrigerated meds. 6. Refrigerated medications. Many seniors rely on medications that must stay cold: insulin, certain eye drops, or biologics. The challenge? TSA in 2025 allows ice packs, but only if they're completely frozen at the time of screening. Anything slushy gets treated as liquid and may be confiscated. This has created major problems. A traveler with refrigerated arthritis injections reported being stopped in Dallas because her gel packs had partially thawed. Security agents made her throw them away, leaving her scrambling for ice after security. The fix is preparation. Freeze gel packs solid before traveling and bring extras in case some thaw. Better yet, carry a travel cooler with TSA-approved labeling. Airlines will often provide ice during the flight if you ask, but don't count on them for storage before boarding. And remember, customs agents may demand to see proof that your refrigerated meds are prescribed. Always bring documentation. But if you think keeping medicine cold is a headache, the next problem comes from something most seniors carry daily: supplements and vitamins. 7. Supplements and vitamins. From multivitamins to herbal capsules, supplements are a staple in senior travel bags. TSA doesn't ban them, but in 2025 they're screening them more closely. Why? Because powders, capsules, and herbal blends can trigger security flags. Agents often swab supplements to rule out controlled substances. Internationally, it gets trickier. Many countries restrict herbal remedies or require prescriptions for supplements that are freely sold in the US. One traveler carrying turmeric capsules into Australia was fined for agricultural risk. Another had her CBD oil confiscated in Dubai, where it's illegal despite being legal in her home state. To stay safe, keep supplements in original packaging. Avoid large unlabeled bags of powder or loose capsules. And always check your destination country's rules before flying. The last thing you want is to lose hundreds of dollars in confiscated vitamins. But if supplements sound complicated, the next item could actually stop you from boarding: medical cannabis. 8. Medical cannabis and CBD. Medical cannabis is legal in many US states, but don't mistake that for TSA approval. In 2025, cannabis is still illegal under federal law, and airports follow federal rules. That means medical marijuana, even with a prescription, cannot legally be brought through security. CBD oil is slightly different. TSA permits hemp-derived CBD with less than 0.3% THC, but many countries ban all CBD products entirely. Travelers continue to get caught. One senior in Arizona had his prescribed cannabis confiscated at security, while another traveler was detained for carrying CBD oil into Japan. The fix? Leave cannabis products at home unless you're 100% sure your departure, transit, and destination airports allow them. Always carry medical documentation, but don't assume it will protect you internationally. And if cannabis rules sound strict, the next section involves something even more surprising: OTC painkillers. 9. Over-the-counter medications. Pain relievers, allergy pills, and sleep aids seem harmless. But in 2025, several over-the-counter meds are restricted in certain countries. TSA won't stop you domestically, but customs officers abroad might. For example, codeine-containing medications are prescription only in the US, but outright banned in countries like Japan. Even common cold medicines like pseudoephedrine are restricted in parts of Europe and Asia. A senior traveler learned this the hard way when her sinus medication was seized in Singapore. She faced hours of questioning before being released. The key is research. Check your destination's banned drug lists before you fly. Pack OTC meds in factory-sealed bottles and carry only what you need for your trip. And remember, customs fines can be steep, even for a small bottle of pills. But if OTC drugs are risky, the next category involves one of the most essential yet misunderstood items: oxygen tanks. 10. Portable oxygen and inhalers. For seniors with respiratory conditions, oxygen concentrators and inhalers are non-negotiable. TSA allows them in 2025, but strict rules apply. Oxygen tanks with compressed gas are banned. Portable oxygen concentrators, POCs, are allowed, but only FAA-approved models. A senior in Denver had her entire flight delayed because she brought a non-approved oxygen tank, which wasn't allowed on board. Another traveler with asthma nearly missed her flight after TSA pulled her aside to check her inhalers. The fix? Always carry FAA-approved devices with labeling visible. Bring backup batteries for POCs, since airlines require enough power for 150% of your flight time. For inhalers, keep them in original prescription packaging. Airlines do not count POCs against your carry-on allowance, but you must notify them before flying. Forgetting to do so can result in boarding delays. And while oxygen rules are strict, the next TSA medication rule is just as sensitive: controlled prescriptions. 11. Controlled prescriptions. Medications like opioids, anxiety pills, or sleep aids aren't just another pill bottle. TSA flags them as controlled substances. In 2025, agents can allow them through security, but only if they're clearly documented. Without proof, you risk confiscation or even questioning. The problem? Controlled drugs have high abuse potential. Security staff must ensure passengers aren't carrying them illegally. Customs abroad can be even harsher. Many countries treat these medications as narcotics, even if prescribed. A traveler carrying prescribed Xanax was delayed in London because she didn't have her doctor's letter. The pills were seized until embassy staff intervened. To avoid this, always carry original pharmacy bottles, prescriptions, and, if possible, a signed doctor's note. Pack only the amount needed for your trip. Keep everything in your carry-on, not checked luggage. And remember, some destinations require advance approval for controlled meds. If you think that's stressful, imagine what happens when TSA finds sharp medical supplies. 12. Blood sugar monitors and diabetic supplies. For diabetic seniors, glucose meters, lancets, and insulin pens are everyday tools. But in 2025, TSA treats them as sensitive equipment. Lancets, in particular, raise red flags because they're sharp objects. TSA requires them to be stored with your diabetic kit and prescription meds. Loose lancets in a bag could be confiscated. One traveler reported being pulled aside in Atlanta after her glucose monitor looked suspicious on the scanner. Agents swabbed the device before allowing her to pass. The best practice? Pack diabetic supplies together in a clear labeled bag. Carry documentation from your doctor confirming medical need, and request a hand inspection if you're concerned about contamination. But if lancets cause stress, the next issue is even bigger: epinephrine and allergy kits. 13. Epinephrine and allergy kits. For seniors with severe allergies, an EpiPen can be life-saving. TSA allows them, but in 2025, security agents are stricter about proof. Unlabeled EpiPens or generics without clear prescription labels often get pulled aside. Why the scrutiny? Because injectors contain needles and liquid medicine, both normally restricted. Agents must confirm they're medically necessary. A woman in Phoenix nearly missed her flight when TSA questioned her unlabeled injector. Only after showing an electronic prescription on her phone was she cleared. To avoid this, keep EpiPens in their original packaging. Bring a doctor's note for extra assurance, especially on international flights. Store them in an easy-to-reach spot in your carry-on, and declare them proactively. The last thing you want is an argument when seconds could save your life. But if allergy meds need proof, the next rule involves something most travelers forget entirely: medical paperwork. 14. Medical documentation. TSA doesn't require a doctor's note for every prescription, but in 2025, it's your best safeguard against delays. Security agents, airlines, and customs officers all have the right to question suspicious-looking medications. A senior carrying biologic injections in Denver, only after showing her doctor's travel letter did they wave her through. Medical documentation can also help with early boarding, in-flight accommodations, and customs declarations. Many countries demand proof before allowing controlled drugs, refrigerated meds, or syringes across the border. The fix? Keep prescriptions in your wallet and print an extra copy in case officials ask. But while paperwork prevents hassle, the final rule is about something even TSA can't predict: medical emergencies mid-flight. 15. Emergency medications in flight. Even if you clear security, emergencies can strike mid-air. In 2025, airlines carry basic first aid but very limited medication. Don't expect them to have your heart meds, insulin, or allergy injectors. Seniors report flights where medical kits didn't include what they needed. One passenger suffered chest pains on a cross-country flight and learned the onboard emergency kit didn't carry his prescription drug. Luckily, a fellow passenger had the same medication and shared until landing. The rule? Always carry a personal supply of emergency medications in your carry-on, not checked luggage. Keep extras in case of delays. And if you have a condition that may need immediate treatment, notify the airline ahead of time. They can note it on your booking. Having your meds on hand could make the difference between a manageable scare and a life-threatening crisis. And if you think these 15 rules are strict, the bonus tip is the most overlooked, and it can save you hours of stress at security. Bonus tip: keep a travel medication list. One of the biggest time savers in 2025 isn't in your pill bottle, it's on paper. Seniors who carry a written medication list report flying through security much faster. Why? TSA agents can quickly verify names, dosages, and purposes without needing to dig through every container. This list also protects you in emergencies. If you're hospitalized mid-trip, doctors won't have to guess your prescriptions. Customs officers abroad often demand documentation for medications, and a printed list with your doctor's contact info works wonders. A traveler in Miami said her medication list saved her from a 2-hour delay when customs flagged her painkillers. She handed over the document, and the officer let her through in minutes. Your list should include medication name, dosage, frequency, prescribing doctor, and emergency contact. Keep one copy in your wallet, another in your carry-on, and a digital copy on your phone. It's simple, but this single step can prevent stress, delays, and even medical risks. Traveling with medications doesn't have to be overwhelming. Which of these TSA rules surprised you the most? Have you ever had an issue flying with prescriptions or medical gear? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And remember, a little preparation keeps you safe, stress-free, and ready for takeoff.